going in the results and particularly the amount of away games that are being won by teams compared to before lockdown.
No fans in attendance tonight at Turf Moor ahead of Burnley versus Wolves, which is our early kickoff. Let's focus on the early game on Monday night. We'll hear from Wolves boss Nuno in a moment. First, here's Burnley boss Sean Dyche.
Sometimes you have a bad patch, we had a bad start, many different reasons for that. I think now that we're getting players fit and we're finding a more balanced group of fit players, then our form's beginning to change. And, over the last number of games, I think you've seen that with the results, with clean sheets, with the attitude of the players to go and give everything to the cause.
We're looking to sustain our levels of performances. This is always what we aim and what we try for. Try to be consistent through the game and game after game. This is the process that we are trying to, again, Monday, compete well against a tough team, like I said before. It'll be a tough match, and our idea is to compete well, to play good football, and this is what we're working for.
I think the basics of what we do, the energy of the side, the commitment to the cause, and also the shape of the side has been better. I think that balance we're searching for now, because we've corrected that somewhat from early season, although obviously injuries as well, people are getting fitter. I think the balance we've got to find is that attacking element to our game, because we've found over the seasons we can be an attacking force enough, of course, to win games, which is not easy in the Premier League. We're not quite firing at the moment in that front zone, although it must be said, when statistically you're not quite scoring, particularly strikers, then the stats are coming back your way, actually. The longer it goes, they're actually coming back your way. Strikers score, whenever that comes now, of course. Our job is to make that happen rather than wait for it to happen.
Burnley is a good team. It creates a lot of problems. It's a physical team, but with good possession of the ball. Very compact, talent players in the midfield and up front. So, very tough, very demanding challenge.
Nuno Espirito Santo there, his thoughts on taking on Burnley tonight with his Wolves side. A brief reminder of some of the headline team moves for this one. Burnley, that had named an unchanged 11 for 3 games in a row, do make one alteration tonight as Ashley Barnes comes into the team to replace Jay Rodriguez, who drops to the bench. Burnley 4-4-2 as expected. Wolves, having switched back to 3 at the back for the win over Chelsea, go with that again tonight. Willy Bolly only fit enough for the bench. Max Kilman comes in at centre-back. Pedence and Neto will lead the line. This is Premier League Live.
Evenings with James Whale on Talk Radio. Keep connected with round-the-clock news, essential information and expert insight.
I think we've got to be very careful about the way this has all been going on.
Cutting through the confusion with everything you need to stay safe, informed and entertained.
Everyone's going on about, we should be tracking and testing, and I just don't know how that is going to happen.
Evenings with James Whale. Weeknights from 7 on Talk Radio.
In a world of 24/7 global sportscasting and instant news infotainment, one man bestrides the airwaves like a snow-capped Caledonian colossus.
Hello, I'm Jim White.
Jim White, anchorman.
Mid-morning news team, assemble.
Jim White and Natalie Sawyer, the #1 rated news source for breaking sports stories, big-name guests, and liquid showbiz charisma.
Great Odin's Ravens, that's quite a transfer.
There's nothing burgundy about Jim White. Tomorrow morning from 10 on TalkSport.
In the spring of the year 2020 AD, a deadly enemy rages like a torrent of fire between the ends of empire.
My name is Maximus Talksportus Pandemicus, gladiator of the sports radio. Gird up your loins and battle the invasion of COVID-19, because what
TalkSport Legion, a Zoom tortoise formation against COVID-19.
Show this virus no mercy by keeping a distance of at least 2 meters at all times. That's 6.75 Roman feet centurions. Together, Legion, TalkSportus can defeat it.
TalkSportus Maximus.
On my signal, unleash hand sanitizer.
Keep it on, stay informed, and give coronavirus the red cardus.
Are you not hand sanitized?
20 years of Talk Sport.
Gentlemen, good evening.
There's no such thing as an overnight success.
Accrington Stanley 4, Titanium Plasmatronic Death Droids from the Future, 0.
Excess.
I wasn't getting up, I was just getting in.
Excitement.
Excuse me,
and extremely strong opinions.
I spend my life covering the big game at the big level.
On DAB, medium wave, and on your smart speaker. 20 years of Talk Sport.
For all the latest news, opinions and advice, listen to Talk Radio throughout the day and stay informed as events unfold.
We're now in a position to start implementing the next part of our plan.
Find out what's happening now and what may happen next, all day, every day.
If the government gets to grips with the plan, then surely we will be able to see light at the end of the tunnel.
Listen now on DAB Digital Radio, online, via the Talk Radio app, or ask your smart speaker to play Talk Radio.
Welcome to Turf Moor for this evening's Premier League game against Wolverhampton Wanderers.
You're listening to Talk Sports coverage of Burnley against Wolverhampton Wanderers from Turf Moor. I'm your host, Rob Daly. Alongside me is the former Norwich City and Leicester City winger, Darren Eadie. This is Premier League Live. The players are out of the tunnel at Turf Moor 2 on what is a wet and miserable night in England. Tough test for Wolves here, as Nuno was saying pre-match, Darren Eadie.
Yes, it is a difficult game for them tonight. I think Burnley, the next 3 games they've got coming, they've got the Leeds, Sheffield United and Fulham. So, they've got teams in and around them where they can pick points up from. So I'd expect probably them to be a little bit more pragmatic tonight, trying to work down a Wolves side that have conceded goals this season. They've got out-and-out strikers in Wood and Barnes, and particularly in terms of Wolves, they're not a huge side in terms of stature, so set piece is going to import from them, and you can see they've only scored 6 goals from this season at all, and only 3 of them have come from open play, so we know they've got a threat from set pieces, and I'm sure that's something they'll be targeting against Wolves this evening.
The Wolves players are in a huddle on their side of the pitch right now. They're in gold and black tonight. Let's run through the 2 11s for this one. Burnley make one change. Barnes in for Rodriguez from the goalless draw at Aston Villa. Pope in goal, Lowton, Tarkowski, Mee and Taylor the back 4. Brady, Westwood, Brownhill and McNeil the midfield 4, and then Wood and Barnes up front. For Wolves, 4 changes from that super victory over Chelsea, the late win midweek at Molineux. In come Kilman, Moutinho back from suspension, Aid Nouri and Otasawi, who makes his first Premier League start. So 3 at the back for Wolves, the goalkeeper Patricio, Kilman, Cody and Saiss in front of him as the players take the knee ahead of kickoff at Turf Moor tonight. Premier League players voting overwhelmingly to continue the pre-match demonstration of solidarity in the message against anti-discrimination and anti-racism. We do get underway with our referee Lee Mason here. So Patricio in goal, Kilman, Cody, Saiss the back 3, Semedo and Aid Nouri the wing backs, Moutinho, Neves and Otasawi the midfield 3, Podence and Neto up front. Wolves shooting from right to left as we look at it in their gold shirts, black shorts and gold socks. Burnley shooting from left to right in their claret shirts with light blue sleeves, white shorts and claret socks. The ball is in the air near the halfway line and brought down by the Burnley midfielder Josh Brownhill. They're just inside the Wolves half, but Wolves have turned it over, and Otasawi, wearing number 54, who was very impressive, the young American off the bench against Chelsea, drives forward with the ball, plays it back to Saiss, and Wolves will look to build from the back. Darren Eadie, how do we expect Wolves to go about this one?
Yeah, exactly as you said there. I think they'll be patient. They'll look to play between the lines, but use the width they've got as well. So you've got 2 strikers who do like to play wide.
And they're immediately getting forward here. Semedo, right side of the area, plays it into Neto inside the box. His low cross is blocked by Ben Mee at the back post. He was sharp to it, the Burnley captain. It's headed out on the halfway line by Max Kilman after Burnley clear it away. Burnley 0, Wolves 0, just over a minute played.
needed an early ball in there, didn't it, quickly? I think he held on to the ball too long, and on the right-hand side for Wolves there, if he'd have fired the ball in a lot quicker, he gave the opportunity for me to get back into position and slide in with a decent block, but I think if he'd have fired that ball across the 6-yard box, little 6-yard box a little bit earlier, Wolves might have had an early chance.
Burnley in possession in their own penalty area now, and Matt Lowton, their long-standing right back, gallops towards the halfway line, charges over it, water kicking up off the surface due to the heavy rainfall at Turf Moor this evening. It's a ball launched into the penalty area, and Rui Patricio, clad in all grey tonight, jumps off his line, he's sharp to it and gathers the ball on the edge of his penalty area for Wolves. Bowls it out to Mansais, who's playing on the left side of the back three, but Wolves have given it away near the halfway line. Westwood plays it to Lowton. Lowton, low ball into the feet of Ashley Barnes, but it's well read by Connor Cody, who steps out from centre-back and works it into Daniel Pedence. Pedence switches the play with a lovely ball on the halfway line to the far side to Nelson Semedo, signed from Barcelona in the summer. Semedo trying to work his way around Dwight McNeil towards the byline. He's done well, but Charlie Taylor's helped out McNeil here, and between them Burnley have defensively sorted out and won the ball before launching it up to the halfway line.
But Semedo's buzzing, isn't he, coming from Barcelona to play on a cold, wet Tuesday night in Burnley? I'm sure he'd heard the rumours.
Yeah, this is one of the toughest away days in the Premier League, so they say, though Burnley's form would not suggest that is the case. They start the day 18th in the Premier League table, lost 5 of their opening 6. And as Darren mentioned pre-match, they're certainly missing their home supporters here, who can make this quite an intimidating atmosphere. Burnley do manage to swing the ball into the penalty area from Westwood, but Rui Patricio, with that cross from some way out, shows his experience and quality by gathering the ball comfortably and bowling it into size on the edge of his own area.
You will see a lot of that from Burnley tonight as well, with Chris Wood and Ashley Barnes in terms of their profile up front. 2 very direct strikers that like the ball into the box early, so from wide areas you'll see Burnley trying to get that ball in as early as they can.
On the bench tonight, by the way, for Wolves, Fabio Silva's come out of the starting 11, the 18-year-old who was signed for big money, £36 million from Porto. And despite the fact that Raul Jimenez is out after that fractured skull that he suffered against Arsenal, there's no place for Fabio Silva in the team, and no place in the team again for Adam.
Great challenge, and I think that going to have to do more of that if they're going to get anything out of it.
Neves finding Ait-Nouri, who skipped his way into the penalty area, onto his right foot, tried to get his strike away, blocked off. The clearance comes to Moutinho. Now wide out to Pedence, just outside the penalty area on the Wolves' left. Twisting and turning here, Daniel Pedence, and forces a slide challenge that will give Wolves a throw deep in the Burnley half.
Yeah, and I'm just seeing that as well. We've only got 2 actually in the penalty area, so you've got Pedence who's looking for that cross. I'd like to see one of the midfield lads just have a gamble and get in there, or just on the edge of the box. The 2 of them are just sitting there, Moutinho and Neves.
Ait-Nouri taking a tumble and winning Wolves a free kick out wide. Lee Mason is the man in the middle tonight. He's in 26 previous Wolves games before this evening. The last was the 1-1 draw against Newcastle back in October. He only gave 1 yellow card on that occasion, so maybe suggests that we might not see too much of him, hopefully, given what's happened here on VAR last season.
Yeah, so I remember the Jimenez goal. What a great goal that was, though, wasn't it, last year? Yeah, did us no favours, did it? And that's probably one of the big... I'm not saying it was just that game, but...
Neto flicks the ball to Moutinho to take the free kick short. Moutinho crossing to the far post, came off a Burnley head, chases on towards the corner, and Charlie Taylor just managed to hoof the ball. It's the roof of the Bob Lord stand on the far side, the smaller stand. Normally is a beautiful view from where we are, high up at the back of one of the more modern stands, but darkness has befallen Lancashire.
And the mist and the rain as well.
Yeah, not too many lights on the houses that you can see in and around this old stadium. And Semedo plays the ball back into his own half. Cody takes over. Finds the feet of Pedence, who flicks it first time cleverly to Semedo. Infield towards Otasawi, who was caught just outside the penalty area by Tarkowski. And Wolves get a free kick in a very promising position.
Well, when we're talking about movement and players coming off that back line of Burnley, you've just seen an example of it there already. Tarkowski having to come out from that defensive line, coming out to meet the player. And he's just a bit too quick for him. That's a Sowie. But great little play from Podence, wasn't it? That little flick out to Semedo. Was a good opportunity here.
There's a couple of them stood around the ball. One is Neto, one is Moutinho, and I think the other is Romain Saiss might fancy this. It's only a yard or so outside the box. A long way towards the right-hand side as you look towards goal. Three of them. Who will it be? João Moutinho flicks it back. Neto to strike it, bounces around, hits a couple of bodies in the penalty area, and his hoof cleared to the halfway line.
Well, he hit that well, didn't he? So it's a good block from Burnley, but he hit that solid Neto.
Here's Podence on the left-hand side. Not 30 yards from goal. Infield towards Neto, who couldn't quite get it under control, and me finding McNeil back to Taylor, just outside the left-hand corner of the box, and he'll bring the ball up towards the halfway line. Kilman trying to get a foot in. Taylor just got there first. Burnley free kick on halfway.
Yeah. So you're seeing already the Taylor there looking for the lads up front. So to be fair, Neves and Moutinho are shielding pretty well at the moment. Because Taylor was having about 3 or 4 touches looking for those strikers.
The rain is continuing to pour down at the moment and swirling around. There's a lot of it. Will make conditions more difficult to play in as Burnley look to whip a cross in from deep that goes all the way through and he's curled out behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, I think Neto just did enough, didn't he? So I'll just put enough pressure on Taylor, I think it is, to stop him from actually getting his foot around the ball and getting it in.
Christina in Wisconsin has gone for 2-1 Wolves since it's the last match before Christmas. I hope everyone has a wonderful holiday, says Christina. Tea and toast on the couch with the dog who got the result right last week, according to Rob in Calgary.
Oh, is that dog what we spoke about? Yeah.
Yeah. Kilman clears. Semedo tries to flick it forwards. Burnley throw. Apparently the dog has gone 1-0 again.
He must have been listening to you. Oh, is it? Sorry, who's that? It?
Rob in Calgary. Fireworks go off.
Kites who's had 1-0, hasn't he?
He has had 1-0.
Yeah.
You just copied Chris Awolowo.
Well, you never come to me first, do you?
Tarkowski forwards. Headed down by Wood. Barnes trying to hook it goalwards, but a long way high over the top of the crossbar from outside the penalty area. Complaining Ashley Barnes, but not troubling Rui Patricio.
No, so look, Wolves were close enough just to put pressure on him that he couldn't really angle the shot down, had he? So look, all he did was put his foot straight under it.
Cody looking to dink it forwards, didn't quite reach Otasawi. Brownhill's headed down. McNeil back to Taylor, just 10 yards inside the Wolves half, trying to thread it in behind for Ashley Barnes. Kilman got there first and the offside flag went up against Barnes anyway. Just for Christmas, I'll come to you first on Spurs game for prediction.
Thank you very much, Michael.
You already had part one of your Christmas present tonight.
Nice caramel biscuit. Thank you very much. Very nice.
Tomo loves a caramel biscuit. I normally bring one for him every game. And today I bought him 2.
Must be Christmas, eh?
The delight on his little face when he sees he's got a treat. Saiss battling away with Wood. Saiss got the ball clear. And he'll come down with snow on it as it bounces into the Burnley half and will be allowed to go out of play for a throw midway inside it. So it will be interesting because Wolves don't have that focal point up top to play off.
No, but already the movement's caused a few problems for Burnley. We say it's all about that delivery up to them though. It's got to be good.
Kilman holding up Wood on halfway. Ball goes backwards to me. Infield to Tarkowski. Early. Wide out on the right-hand side to Lowton. Brady is down the line for him. Here is Robbie Brady, left footer playing on the right. Tracked all the way by Aït-Nouri. Goes back to Tarkowski. We'll switch the play out to the left-hand side to Taylor. Being shown in field by Neto. And passed it straight to Cody, who did well to find Podence. Leaves it for Otasawi to carry the ball over halfway. He tried a little bit of trickery and got caught out by Robbie Brady, and he stayed down, Owen Otazawi. And in the meantime, Dwight McNeil has the ball for Burnley, out to the left-hand side to Taylor. McNeil running down the line. The ball goes infield to Barnes, who helps it into the box, but easy for Patricio to claim.
Well, you've just seen his inexperience there, hasn't it? So he's come out onto this left-hand side. He's run into a bunch of Burnley players. I think if he's gone out the right-hand side, there's options up there. But it just shows you. So, like, we're taking no prisoners if you try and get at them.
Semedo with a good ball down the line for Neto, who cuts infield on his left foot. Semedo's continued his run. Here he is. Low one into the danger zone, turned away by Tarkovsky on the edge of the 6-yard box for a Wolves throw.
Yeah, they've done well down that right-hand side already, haven't they? Semedo and Neto. They've opened up a few opportunities.
Still Burnley 0, Wolves 0 with 13 minutes played here at Turf Moor tonight. Semedo with the throw, just over 10 yards from the corner flag. Tried to find Pedence, who didn't get to grips with it. Ashley Barnes back there with possession. He will clear it up to halfway. Over the top of Wood, though. Nodded down by Cody to Saiz. Back to Cody. He was under pressure by Chris Wood. Neves trying to set Semedo in behind. Flagger stayed down against Nelson Semedo into the penalty area, and it needed a big, important challenge. And eventually, the offside flag has gone up. It was Ben Mee who got back to him.
I'd like to see that again. I thought he timed his run. Semedo. Good tackle from Ben Mee.
It's the nonsense offside rule, isn't it, really? I think he is offside.
He's offside looking at that.
And the assistant referee right in front of it could have just put his flag up. Mee got back, crunches into Semedo. Ben Mee took a while to get up there. He could have hurt Semedo from it.
Well, he's hurt himself, I think.
I mean, just stop the play. We've wasted a minute or so.
Well, we talk about it. If it's obvious, just put your flag up. So look, I can understand the borderline ones. If you're not quite sure, you let it go. But if there's somebody standing miles offside, you've got to put your flag up.
Generally, as you know, I am a bit of a defender of VAR, and
some
of the new rules have come in, but some of the new rules, like that one, don't make any sense.
No, I think if you're clearly offside, then I think that you should be putting your flag up. If you're unsure, then I can understand it a little bit.
Here come Burnley down the left through McNeil. Kilman dragged out wide, dangerous ball in, and it's hooked goalwards and just wide of the right-hand post. Rui Patricio was struggling for a moment as Chris Wood just helped it towards goal from only 6 yards out. There wasn't a lot the Wolves keeper could have done had it been on target. Almost a wrestling match with Romain Saiz, and Wood didn't know that much about it.
You've got to try and stop the cross, haven't you? You've got to try and stop. McNeil's got a good delivery with his left foot. Saiz ended up probably just doing enough, but he's got to try and do a little bit better with that. Saiz to stop the cross coming in there. I think it was Kilman, wasn't it?
A risky moment early on in the game. Wolves throw on halfway. Aït-Nouri back into his own half to Saiz. Now to Cody. Just about 16 minutes played in the game. João Moutinho on the ball, finding the feet of Otazawi over halfway, turning and playing it wide to Aït-Nouri. Back in field to Moutinho. He's got Saiz just behind him. He'll play it backwards to Cody. Now to Romain Saiz again. Otazawi had set off further forwards. Aït-Nouri has the ball. He goes backwards to Neves, who's in Saiz's position. Switched across to Kilman. Forwards towards the feet of Neto. First time to Semedo. Infield to Moutinho. Now into the centre circle to Neves. Trying to whip it wide towards Aït-Nouri. Just intercepted by Lowton. It was nice football from Wolves in the initial build-up, though.
Yeah, it was. So look, it's some good movement of the ball.
Saiz with a clever header to keep it in, and he's found Otazawi. And Otazawi on a bit of a charge forwards again, and he thought he was going to win another free kick in an advanced position, but Lee Mason said no this time. As Pedence wins it back on the halfway line. Foul for you, Tomo?
No, so look, I think he's gone over the leg there. I don't think he's actually got the contact with him. I know we're a long way off, but I think that the player's already there and he's kind of gone over him.
There's Moutinho, infield to Neves, middle of the Burnley half, trying to just lift it out to the right-hand side to Neto, who controls on the chest, up against Taylor, pulled back from Moutinho, takes one touch, whips his cross in, it deflected off Ben Mee and will be a Wolves corner.
Yeah, you just saw examples of there. So like, the Wolves can't really hit the ball in, can they, from deep or different angles. They need that movement in front of them to cause Burnley a chance, because like, they're big lads at the back for Burnley and they're happy just to head the ball if it comes in. But Wolves are just trying to get that little bit of movement across them and in that penalty area to cause them a problem.
Wolves dominating possession at the moment, 58-42. It's a bit of a rarity on recent games. Moutinho with a corner, right-footed from the left-hand side. I think Lee Mason just wants to come over and check that part of the ball is definitely touching the corner quadrant. Pedro Neto will take over to take instead. Podence, a couple of yards in front of him on the goal line. Moutinho less than 10 yards from him on the touchline, and they're complaining that Burnley aren't back the full 10 yards.
But it can't be the 10 yards. I'm looking at the markers. It can't be the 10 yards.
Comes to Moutinho, backwards to Aït-Nouri, who will try and lift it in first time, and it was headed goalwards by Saïs, but will loop over the top of the crossbar.
Well, I thought they was going to try something different there, because for the first time they've got 3 out on that corner, haven't they? But they just hit it back to Aït-Nouri, who put the ball in.
Looped header, maybe just headed it onto his shoulder before.
Yeah, so not really any
goalwards, rather than a sweet connection. 19 minutes played at Turf Moor. Goal kick taken short to the left back, Charlie Taylor. Trying to play it early. Semedo missed the interception. It comes through to Chris Wood. Kilman with a toe in on the ball. Yeah. And he'll be given as a Wolves throw.
Yeah, so as you can see from here, again, Woods just kicked the last touch.
Semedo being told to go back a couple of yards. Martin Lovett in Cyprus, watching in Greek with our commentary. Says 3 points, please, Wolves. Rich and Lisa, big game fitting for a Wolves win. Score doesn't matter. Although not for Rocking Chair Dave, who's gone for a 2-0 win with our magic two Portuguese frontmen, Neto and Podence, with the goals. Here is Saïs. Early one forwards. Otazawi was there. It's headed away by Tarkowski. Otazawi, though, will help it on again to Daniel Podence. Podence trying to lift it out to the right-hand side. Neto just nodding it down. Neves is forwards towards the edge of the box. To Podence again, left-hand side of the penalty area. Twisting and turning, Daniel Podence. Trying to find some room once more. Forced a little bit wider than he would want to be. Tries to lift his cross in. Otazawi was challenging. It was an important, brave header away in the end.
Oh, I just thought for a second that was a great ball in from Podence. I thought he just missed the Burnley back line.
Moutinho, Neto tried just to set it up for Podence, who wasn't quite close enough to him. Pope with the clearance forward. Saïs, a little nudge on Ashley Barnes before he headed it. And Lee Mason giving a free kick Burnley's way.
Ben Mee's down. I think that's come from that challenge when he had that tackle on Semedo earlier on. He's not recovered from it. He's been struggling with it.
And I think he has our sympathy on that, because if they'd just put the flag up when Semedo was offside,
He's just seen it again. Yeah, he's just seen there.
The Burnley captain would have been all right. And if that had been the other way round, I think we'd have been pretty furious at this point.
Well, he's just seen there Semedo's gone to kick the ball and he's kicked Ben Mee. Accidentally, of course, but it's right on his ankle.
And he's getting a little bit of treatment, Ben Mee, at the moment. Pam James says, evening, lads. Hope you're well wrapped up for the northern weather. The Shifnal Sofa Posse are looking forward to a bit of Neto Pod tag team action. James in Marseille will be listening in with us with French TV pictures. Ooh la la, says Pam.
Need your little berry on, mate.
At Monkey Burrows, if you want to get in touch with us. Use the hashtag Wolves Live. 0-0 at Turf Moor with 22 minutes played. Burnley free kick on the halfway line. Just about 10 yards in from the right-hand touchline. Lowton will lift forwards towards the edge of the Wolves penalty area. Up went the heads, and it was Kilman who got it away. Brought down and helped forwards again by McNeil. Saiz there ahead of Brady. Pedence, oh, he nearly went flying into the stand there, skidding along the surface.
Yeah, the tarmac, he stood on the tarmac, couldn't you?
Lowton crossing from deep. Again, difficult one to deal with. Saiz heading to the edge of the box. Otazawi away. Now then, there might be a chance for a counter-attack as Taylor committed himself, and Neto looking to burst forwards down the right-hand side. He's got Semedo up in support. Otazawi's gone down off the ball. Neto to the edge of the box, striking it low and saved down to his right-hand side by Nick Pope.
Well, the Wolves players are appealing. Otazawi, I think, has gone down. I'm sure the VAR will pick it up wherever's happened. Just trying to see the replay here. Yeah. Just clipped him on the back of his heels.
Neves is still complaining, and Lee Mason's just coming to have a word with Owen Otazawi at the minute.
He's just clipped his heels, hasn't he? I'm not sure who it was.
I think his boot came off in the process, and we're going to show him a little pause while Owen Otazawi tries to get that boot back on. 23.5 minutes played. Wolves with plenty of the ball. A couple of decent breakaways so far.
Yeah, they have. So, look, again, it's been mainly down that right-hand side, hasn't it, with Neto or Semedo. So they've been linking up pretty well so far.
Strange to think they've had 60% of the possession, and yet the best chances have come on the counter-attack.
Yeah.
Here come Burnley over the halfway line, down their left. Neto challenging with Charlie Taylor. Taylor fell to the floor, and Burnley get the free kick. Here's one for you. Wolves have won just one of 11 Premier League games under Nuno when they've had at least 60% possession.
Was it 70 odd percent Chelsea had in the first half last week, was it?
For periods, yeah.
I know it evened itself out in that second half.
Ball delivered in, headed away by Kilman from the penalty spot. He'll be fired back in dangerously, but always swerving away from Rui Patricio's goal.
Yeah, so Lowton there, I think, just made it easy there for Wolves with his effort from about 30 yards, 25, 30 yards. Never testing the keeper at all.
"25 minutes played at Turf Moor. 60-40 in Wolves' possession. 4 shots to 2. Only the one on target, that one from Pedro Neto a moment or so ago. Had 1 off target and 2 blocked. Michael Kitely's bet on 8 corners or more doesn't look great at the minute. Only 1 so far.
Yeah, that can change. That can change.
Wolves with a throw, just short of halfway on the Wolves' right. Nelson Semedo to take. Pedence coming short. Neto down the line. Otazawi, the most advanced man at the minute. He's now coming short. He'll go to his feet. Gives it back to Semedo. Down the line for Neto, who tried to flick it in field, but Burnley stealing possession back and playing it to the goalkeeper. Pope onto his left foot to the left-hand corner of the box, looking to launch it downfield. Kilman came and claimed it and headed it forwards, and flick on by Otazawi, finding Neto, who turns away from 2 challenges and heads out to the Wolves' right. Support from Semedo. Infield to Matinho. Backwards it goes to Kilman. Neves, first time to the feet of Matinho. Back to Kilman. Looks infield to Ruben Neves again. Across to Saiz. Back to Cody, deeper inside the Wolves' half. Looking to try and dink it forwards towards Otazawi, who climbs highest and heads it wide towards Semedo, who crunches into his challenge.
Yeah, he's the
Charlie Taylor.
Yeah, it was the hesitating, wasn't it, from Semedo? If he'd gone in initially, I'm thinking on Taylor, the referee would have given it, but it's just that hesitation, and then all of a sudden, then he's gone. He's just a fraction too short for it. But you saw the ball up to Otazawi there, just winning that flick on.
I did say to someone the other week when they asked about Owen Otasawi in midfield and talked about a likeness to Marouane Fellaini in that type of role, much more advanced than you would imagine for his size, and gives you an opportunity to try and play off as a physical number 10.
He's got that presence about him as well, hasn't he?
Now long ball from the goalkeeper. Wolves have been caught napping. Barnes is in behind. Big save by the feet of Rui Patricio. Barnes' biggest chance of the game. Wolves' defensive line maybe trying to play offside. Didn't work. Ashley Barnes in behind. Just a long straight pass, and luckily Rui Patricio was equal to the danger.
No, I think that's a let off, and that's that one that you've got to be careful of. Woods or Barnes just playing on the last man, just playing on that top line. Any ball forward, as it was then, it was just, I don't think it was actual pass to him. I think it was just a kick forward to him.
Otasawi winning possession back in the Wolves half. Leaves it for Moutinho, just to the right of the centre circle.
Yeah, you just saw a good decision there from Lee Mason. So like Woods trying to get a free kick, and he's falling down before the Wolves players even come towards him. Just wait, play on.
Saiz for Cody. Back to Romain Saiz. Wide to Neves. Closed down by Brady. Has to just launch it forwards. Ben Mees headed down. McNeil with time to turn and carry it into the Wolves half. Coutinho got a foot in, but Brownhill works it wide to the left-hand side to Taylor. Up against Semedo, trying to go past him on the outside. Semedo with a foot to the ball and a Burnley throw 10 yards from the corner flag.
Yeah, they're starting to have a little bit of possession now on the Burnley. Just having a little bit of the rub of the green, and he's just watching that opportunity there. He's onside. Just got caught for a big long ball from Pope. Good save though from Patricio. Got down to his right-hand side, saved it with his foot.
Did what he needed to do,
yeah.
Rui Patricio.
Well,
another cross comes in, he'll have to come and claim this, and he does. Only Manchester City have kept more clean sheets than Wolves in 2020. Yeah, Wolves with 13 Premier League clean sheets in the calendar year. Man City with 15. Shows you what a good 12 months and more Rui Patricio has had. Would have been really frustrated with the manner that Chelsea got their goal last week. Neves losing possession here to Westwood. Westwood onto Brady. Ait-Nouri got back to him, and it will be a goal kick.
Well done, Ait-Nouri. Getting back. It's ricocheted. The referees give it as a goal kick. Did really well there, Ait-Nouri. Sprinting back, be able to rebound stuff, Robbie Brady.
I think it's a corner.
Yeah, I'm just looking at it again. I thought my initial thing was a corner. Oh, I'll take it.
Wolves are trying to play. The goal kick's taken to Cody, who was just to the right of the 6-yard box. I haven't seen Wolves do that before.
Well, they've done it most of this first half, and I think 3 or 4 times they've kicked it out of play.
Yeah, well, it allows Burnley to push right up to the edge of the box and then close in on them, and then trying to clear it away from deep. I guess it's partly of not having a particular target apart from Otasawi in a more advanced position.
Yeah, I think Woods and Barnes just on the 18-yard box, ready for them to pass it. And then you've got the midfielders backing Woods and Barnes up, haven't you? Just behind them, just not allowing Wolves any space at all. They want them to kick it long because we know they haven't got that much height, either on the flanks or up front. There's only Otasawi that's actually got any height up there.
Pedence has a bit of an issue at the minute. We're just having a bit of a pause before Semedo can take a Wolves throw. Might just have got winded there. The young Portuguese. He's been in decent form. Important goal last week. And Pedro Neto, Wolves have been reliant on for the last couple of goals.
Well, we said we needed goals from other areas, and we still need more. So it's a good start from the two of them from last week.
And the two combined to beat Arsenal. They combined again to beat Chelsea. Need them to continue it on here. 0-0 with 32 minutes played, just about. Westwood down the right-hand side for Lowton. Early one in, blocked by Saiz, just sticking a foot behind him as he was running backwards. Neves trying to play it early up towards Neto. Otasawi closed in on Ben Mee. got there a little bit late. Burnley free kick.
Yeah, he's in the walls a little bit, Ben Mee, but you know what you're going to get from him. Wholehearted tackles. And again, you just seen it there. And to be fair, Otasowi's gone in with it as well. Didn't pull out of it. Bit of commitment from both players. Good to see.
Yeah, nice to see that nobody complained either.
No.
The officials just got up and got on with it.
Well, they've both gone in for the ball, and that's what's mean. If they're going for the ball and they have a good go at it, it's good to see. It's a rarity nowadays, is it? That a free kick isn't given for anybody doing a tackle.
Here's Tarkovsky trying to switch the play. Neto got something on it. He'll go out for a Burnley throw, just about midway inside the Wolves half on the Burnley right. Everybody getting back into their defensive shape. Burnley growing more into the game as Westwood tries to run it forwards. Aït-Nouri got there, but Westwood went down, and a Burnley free kick at a couple of yards from the corner of the penalty area.
Well, this is what you don't want to see.
I thought Neves won the ball there.
I've just seen the replay, and it looks like Neves has won the ball cleanly. So we just spoke about the hearted challenge from two of the opposition players. And then you just saw that one where Neves just got his foot to it, and unfortunately, so the referee decided it was a free kick. But this could be a danger. Westwood, McNeil on the ball.
Two-man wall trying to protect a route to the near post. Rest of the Wolves' defensive line is behind the penalty spot as McNeil goes low, blocked off by Semedo, who could try and bring it clear. Martinho is his only option to the right. Martinho's just about got the better of Brady and sets Semedo away over the halfway line at pace. Podence is in field. Semedo still going. Podence tried to flick it backwards to Semedo.
Oh, he just needs to take it himself there for me, Podence. He's tried to flick it to Semedo. Just needed to take it himself.
The game is suddenly stretched. Burnley trying to take advantage. Chris Wood up to the corner of the penalty area. Playing it on for Taylor to arrive, who hangs it high to the far post. Barnes heading down and Barnes heading in. And Burnley lead. Wolves trying to hit on the counter-attack. Lost possession on the edge of the Burnley penalty area. And the home team work their way forwards, hang the ball up to the far post. And Barnes climbed highest to force it home. It's Burnley 1, Wolves 0.
Yeah, disappointing after a good counter-attack from Wolves there. They'll be disappointed with the goal, I think, as well. Just thought that Wood's ball was a little bit hard for Taylor, but he made the best of it. Just stuck it up to the back post. Oh.
I just wonder whether Romain Saiss almost blocks off Patricio's view of this, really.
Oh, yeah.
Goes through Patricio's legs in the end. Hanging cross. Chase was on.
Yeah. I don't know if he's just come off Saiss's knee a little bit just to beat Patricio there.
Well, Burnley are in front. The lowest scorers at home in English football have scored. And Wolves have to respond. Here's Otasowi. Caught by Westwood, trying to continue on. Couldn't get to his feet. Wolves get a free kick, and Westwood then just hoofing the ball away, and he'll get himself a yellow card.
Yeah, well, that's a needless one from him, isn't it? But just going back to that incident with Podence and Semedo, I think that if he takes it on himself, he can have a shot at goal. So look, and they ended up losing it, and then said the goals come from that a little bit.
Yeah, because Semedo was committed forwards when then Taylor went down the other end. Wolves didn't have the numbers back there to cover the run.
No. Put some great build-up play initially, and then said, look, it's just letting us down, isn't it? That top third a little bit. And there's been 2 or 3 chances that we've had. I think Neves might fancy this. He's lining it up that he's going to hit it.
That's what, just short of 30 yards, maybe 25.
And you've got the conditions as well. Pitch with the rain coming down.
3-man wall, just to the left of centre as you look towards goal. Nick Pope is covering his left-hand post. Here comes Ruben Neves to step up and strike it high over the wall and over the top of the crossbar too.
Yeah, well struck, but just too
hard.
A
deflection.
Deflection there. Well, okay, just watching it again. Yeah.
Maybe just off Wood, middle of the wall.
Yeah, because he struck it well.
Coutinho with the corner. Podenza comes short. Whipped to the edge of the box. Neves put it down on one touch, struck it goalwards. It wasn't far off at all. Just swerved away from the top right-hand corner with Nick Pope struggling to get across.
Well, I thought, he's never going to get that. But when he's hit it, and I will just look at the replays, a little bit further away than I thought, but he struck it well in the end. Yeah,
Goalkeeper was worried.
He was. I think he just probably pulled his hands away a little bit towards the end. But it's a decent strike from him.
I'd say it's been an awful long time since Ruben Neves has been on the score sheet.
Tell you what, we used to be so lucky to see the goals that he was scoring every other week, wasn't it? It seemed like it.
29 appearances since his last goal, which was a pretty special one as well. As Kilman goes sliding in and gives a free kick away, this time close to the edge of the Wolves penalty area.
I don't think that's a free kick. I don't think.
Committed himself for it, Kilman.
Yeah, it's caught him just before. It's caught the player just before the ball.
And they've got more defending to do here, Wolves.
A couple of little mistakes coming in. It's just allowed Burnley to get a little bit of momentum as well, isn't it? I think Kilman just tried to play to the inside, mishit it, and ended up coming to get that tackle and ended up getting the free kick away.
Brownhill and Brady stood over the ball. Brownhill right-footed, Brady left. It's just to the left of centre as you look towards Rui Patricio's goal. And here comes Brownhill over the wall, curling and wide of Patricio's right-hand post. He thought it was close, Josh Brownhill.
Yeah, he did. And I'll tell you what, Patricio didn't look like he was getting near it either, did he? So he struck it well, Brownhill.
Just always bending away. Goal kick ticking short to Saiz, to Ait Nouri. Saw a bit of spray coming up off the ground, and that ball was laid along it. You can still see it almost marked out on the surface now. It'll be interesting if this rain continues. Here's Otazawi on halfway, loses possession to Taylor. It's just not quite stuck in the forward areas.
No.
Mado's challenge. It'll be a Wolves throw. Lee Mason thought about it, decided there was nothing in it. Fair challenge.
No, it's not been a good 10-15 minutes, has it, for Wolves? So they started really promising, just struggled to put Burnley on that back foot a little bit.
Otazawi with a brave header forwards, and there's been a clash of heads, and immediately Lee Mason stopping the play to enable the physios to get on the field, and Wolves know all about the importance of getting medical attention to players in these kind of circumstances.
Yeah, it was a brave header by Otazawi, wasn't it? So, because it wasn't his to win, really, was it? But he made sure it was. Just got that flick.
Saw Raul Jimenez put out a video on his social media the other day, thanking everybody for their support and wishing everybody a Merry Christmas.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. Does he look well?
Looks like he's had a haircut.
Has he?
Yes.
I haven't seen it.
Had it shaved off.
Has he?
Yeah.
Oh, well.
The Mexican sensation, who's actually the only man since Wolves returned to the Premier League to have scored a Premier League goal against Burnley.
It's a great goal.
Well, great goal here last year.
Yeah, it was.
Late penalty.
Yeah.
In the home game.
Yeah, it was a striker's goal, wasn't it? Last year, the one here.
Well, there's not many strikers could have done that.
That's what I'm saying. He was a striker's goal. So look at the way that he's just come to it. Oh yeah, but
I think it's just a special talent.
Yeah. Oh, he is, without doubt.
To have been able to do that.
Well, good news. Otazawi's up anyway. Tarkowski's up as well. So
just another replay on our screens of the goal, and you can see Taylor making that run from deep. And if you're being really critical, the player who potentially should have tracked in was Daniel Podence, who just rather stopped and allowed Taylor to continue charging on.
Well, Semedo was caught up the field, wasn't he, as you mentioned there?
And that's the difficulty sometimes when you commit players forwards. Does leave potential gaps at the other end, and Burnley punished Wolves there. Both Otazawi and Tarkovsky. It's a little fist bump between the two on the touchline. They'll come back on in a second. This possession goes back to Pope. We'll look to launch it forwards. Header on by Barnes. Saiss away. Westwood wide. Aït-Nouri there ahead of Brady. Aït-Nouri took a tumble.
He's just, as Aït-Nouri's just come in, he's just given a little nudge, hasn't he? I don't think Aït-Nouri liked it.
43 minutes played, closing in on half-time. Wolves with some work to do, trailing by a goal to nil. Another throw for Burnley. Lowton, Westwood forwards. Brady had continued on. Moutinho got there in front of him and just had his foot taken away from him. And it will be a Wolves free kick inside their own penalty area.
Yeah, good tracking back, wasn't it, from Moutinho there. So just got his foot to it, just got rid of the ball just before the challenge come in. But they have definitely since, well, just before the goal, Burnley have started to come into a little bit more. Started to put a little bit more pressure on it.
Be an interesting half-time period. The thoughts of Chris Iwelumo and Michael Kiteley to come. Neves challenging on halfway. Otazawi trying to bring the ball down, getting away from Westwood and Brownhill. He did well to work it to Neto. Semedo ran past him. The ball comes infield to Neves. Now to Saiss, who's forwards, and Saiss might fancy a dig from distance. He did. He was blocked by Westwood, came back to him. Neves with a foot in. Otazawi, Moutinho, Pedence, Brady wrapping his foot round him and stealing possession back. Early one up towards Barnes, who held off his man. Aït-Nouri, though, out muscling Brady this time.
Yeah, he did well there, didn't he, Aït-Nouri, tracking back.
And he'll continue to bring it forwards, and now infield to Neves. Wide for Daniel Pedence. Pedence looking to run at his man, trying to cut infield on his right foot. Still has possession. Helps it around the corner to Otazawi. Leaves it for Pedence to take over. Helping it to the far post towards the run of Semedo, but too much curl on the pass and behind for a goal kick.
Oh, well, that's a good opportunity, wasn't it? He broke free as well. He left Taylor Semedo. Just needed a ball too, just a little bit too much bend on it from Pedence. He saw the pass because he was free.
There's 2 minutes to be added on.
2 minutes at a time. Sponsored by GM Kitchen Furniture Limited.
There you go. Confirmation. 2 minutes left to play. Moutinho trying to control the goal kick. Didn't quite do so. Brady back to Lowton. Puts his foot through it. Hangs it high and forwards. Away by Saiss. Brownhill nodding it down. Otazawi was tracking him. Otazawi winning possession back. Here's Moutinho. Well, Otazawi wasn't expecting it. He put a foot in and almost got clattered into by Westwood, but the free kick's gone Burnley's way.
Yeah. He's booking him as well.
Maybe an accumulation of challenges.
I don't think there's much in it.
Otazawi.
I don't think there's much in it.
Fortunate for him. The Wolves find themselves a goal down and trying to prevent Burnley from getting a second in the final minute of time being added on at the end of the first half. Pretty much everybody back to defend. Neto, the most advanced man, as Westwood hangs it high to the far side of the penalty area. Flicked goalwards by me, I think it was, who tried to wrap his foot round it.
I don't know about that one when I'm just seeing it. Tarkovsky's just got a free header at the back post there. Just got to be careful. He's probably their best header of the ball.
Me trying a little bit of something adventurous. Actually saw in the under-18s game on Friday night, Justin Hubner, a young Dutch defender, scored a late consolation, pretty much like that. Little cheeky back heel. Looping into the far corner. Final action of the first half here at Turf Moor then. Wolves dominating possession, dominated the early chances, but when their chance came, Burnley took it and punished them.
Yeah, so look, again, promising start from Wolves. Couple of little opportunities for them. Just hasn't worked out for them in that top third, though. Neto and Semedo down that right-hand side looked lively. But unfortunately for the goal, we just got caught out with Semedo high up the field. And Taylor being able to stick that ball up for Barnes to head it in at the back post. But probably quite an even first half. But I think Wolves will be disappointed that they haven't made more of the chances that they've had.
Yeah, I mean, they've got into some decent positions, but we talked a lot beforehand about not having a primary striker.
Yeah.
Do you think that'll change early in the second half?
No, I think the movement's been good. I think initially when we watched it in that first half, the first 10, 15 minutes, I thought the movement was really good. Coming off the back line of Burnley, caused them a few little problems. Movement down that right-hand side from Neto's caused them problems. But I just think that we haven't utilised it enough for me. I think that we've got to try and get Nathan Uri down this left-hand side a little bit more with Podence, just to give us a little bit more of a balance on the flanks rather than just concentrating just on that right-hand side. But look, so the movement's been decent early on, but just need to be a little bit more clinical, I think, in that top bit.
Okay, more from Andy Thompson to come. We'll also hear from Chris Suelamo and Michael Kitely as well on Wolves TV Matchday Live Extra at the break at Turf Moor. It's Burnley 1, Wolves 0.
Matchday Live on Wolves TV. Listen for free online at wolves.co.uk or on the move anywhere in the world via the Wolves app.
The Old Goal Club has a new series, My Golden Game. Speaking to former and current players, coaches, managers and fans of the matches that meant the most to them.
It's a club who I have in my heart, and I always keep following it. I've been back to Molyneux on a few occasions, and I never got a good reception, and that hurt me a little bit. Not that I thought I deserved better, but maybe because of those two games against West Brom, where I scored 4 goals in 2 appearances.
Check out the series so far, featuring the likes of Jodian Lescott, Kevin Doyle, Neil Emblem and Dennis Irwin.
I was absolutely delighted when they came in from England, and even more so when, after having a tough first 4 or 5 months, that we were on a bit of a roll and ended up playing in this fantastic game.
Old Goal Club, My Golden Game, available now.
Wolverhampton Wanderers is a club with a bright future, but also a shining past. See the history of the club we love, from humble beginnings to the present day, in the Wolves Museum, featuring unique artefacts from our illustrious past and interactive exhibits for kids big and small. The Wolves Museum, open Fridays, Saturdays and Sundays from 10 a.m. Book online at wolves.co.uk or visit the ticket office. Matchday Live on Wolves TV. Listen for free online at wolves.co.uk or on the move anywhere in the world via the Wolves app.
So half-time here at Turf Moor. Wolves trailing by 8-0. They've dominated possession in that first half, 56% to 44. More efforts on goal as well than their hosts, 7-6, but only one of those was on target. 4 of them have been blocked. Burnley haven't had a single corner. Wolves having 2. But the only stat that really matters at the moment is that Burnley took their opportunity when it came, Michael Kitely, and kind of credit to them for that. Wolves, though, from their perspective, our perspective, we were on the attack and we had a good opportunity on the edge of the box. And Podence, trying to flick it to Semedo, gave possession away and they got punished.
Yeah, as you said, it was a good opportunity on the break for Wolves, but
I felt Wolves started the game really well, in my opinion, controlled the game. And then as the game went on, I just felt it started going a bit long. And I think that's what Burnley want Wolves to do. And, if we're going to play Neto and Podence up front, we can't be going long against teams like Burnley because that's meat and drink for them. And then obviously from that opportunity, they've gone up the other end and sort of hit us on the break and obviously got the goal. But look, there's going to be chances in the second half. I know it's 1-0, but there's going to be chances for us in the second half to try and get back into this game. And, most of the time we play better in the second half of games. So let's hope that that's the same today.
Yeah, it's a good point that Wolves have now failed to score in 64 of 90 Premier League games since promotion in the first half of those matches. So it probably shouldn't be a surprise, Chris Awellamo, that we've not been on the score sheet. But have we looked like getting on the score sheet? That's the big question. Don't know whether you heard Tomo just before the break saying that he thinks it's been all right with the two up top.
Well, it's been all right, and I think we spoke a lot about Otasowie before the match. I think he's been excellent. If there's a player I'm on him, because the likes of Podence, Neto, they do drift wide, they do come deep for it, and sometimes he's been the focal point. He'll just drift into that space. It's very evident that Nuno has definitely said that to him. I think what Kite said there, we have went long, is because he's actually put himself up there, and he has a presence, but it's not his game. I think he's been excellent. Again, it's the way that Burnley play. Very, very difficult when you got Wood and Barnes playing as a 1-1. It's not as a 2, because then the likes of Kilman and the likes of Saiss would just go, and it gives and the service coming up to them. It's service. It's quick, and then it's supported, meaning then that one of the defenders have got to make a decision. So I'm asking more of Moutinho. I'm asking more of Neves defensively. I think they're seeing a lot of the ball, but I think they've got to follow the runners. They've got to make sure that they nullify that threat, because they're causing us problems at the minute. And it is, you're talking about breaking football. Like Semedo's out of position for Taylor to get in and put the cross in. Little moments like that. That's what Burnley do. They'll suck you out. They'll say, oh, come on then. They're used to not having more of the ball. So they just set those little traps, and we should be aware of that.
Right. I'm going to suggest something here, and then I want the three of you to talk about it, because look, you are all the people who've played the game and I've not, but I've obviously watched a lot of football. So I'm going to put something to you here now, right? Against Chelsea last week, with the 2 in midfield and then the 3 up top, obviously with it being 2, they're a little bit higher up. At the minute, with Neves holding between those 2 midfielders, his inclination is to drop back effectively alongside that back 3 and take the ball from them. Moutinho does it as well. And therefore, even if we do get it up to the front 2, our midfield is too deep, because we're playing almost on top of.
Well, it's not too deep. I've just said to you, Otasowie, he's basically up there with the strikers. He's playing as a number 10.
Okay, Otasowie might be up there then, but there becomes a big gap then between Neves, Moutinho, who are with the back line. I'm just putting this out there.
No, you're spot on. You're spot on, because it is very evident, and that's what I'm trying to say. If the likes of Neves, and more often than not, it should be Neves coming to get it and dropping and taking it off the centre-backs, but he doesn't have to, because the likes of Kilman, Saiss, even Cody can do all that from that position. So if anything, they should actually be more advanced. So Otasowie's going really, really far up, really in behind Neto and Podence. That then Moutinho's in between half and half, as you would, but Neves doesn't need to be getting the ball there. If anything, he's allowing Burnley to then press at a higher stage. If he finds little pockets, which he did against Chelsea, because they were on the front foot, in those tight areas, he was outstanding. I'm expecting that, but in the middle third of the pitch, rather than the defensive third. You're spot on, Mikey. But Connor Cody, Kilman, Saiss should be saying to him, "What, we can do that. We can get the ball there and do those little passes that you're doing." And even Connor Cody has got the range of passing to do more. So stay out of there. Let's play the. Sorry, Michael.
Mikey, for me, that's the big problem, because we're going long as well. So Neves is dropping in to try and get on the ball, and if we miss him out and go long, he's then so far away from the forwards that there is a big gap there. And I want to see us play in between the lines, because that's where we're going to hurt Burnley. Yeah. Get Neves on the ball, get him to play in between the lines, to get Podence in that little pocket and Neto in that little pocket, so we can drive forward. And I think Burnley have done well at that, of trying to make Wolves go long, and we've sort of got sucked into that as the games wore on. I thought, we're going a bit long here. This is not what we need. So for me, we have to pass through the lines, and that's why we're so far away from the forwards, because we're going a little bit long, in my opinion.
Okay, so you've played wing back, you've played wing as a winger. So I think when we do go long, it's those passes, it's out to the wide men. And I don't think like Burnley, like McNeil and Brady, they're very evident. It's 4-4-2. That's the position they're in. They don't really kind of get sucked out of position, and it doesn't allow us to free Aït-Nouri. It doesn't allow us to free Semedo. So what should they do as a winger? They've then got to come into little pockets, and it's got to be those cutting passes and receiving it, because you're not going to get it wide, are you? But they've got to affect the match more as a winger. But you know that position inside out.
Well, that's where I think Wolves can hurt Burnley, is in those little pockets, and we just need to find it and take the chance of they're risky balls sometimes, but we've got the players to do it. And as you said, Burnley's 4-4-2. They're so hard to play against, but we need to find a way. And we've struggled over the years, especially at Turf Moor, to find a way of breaking them down. But we need to do that better in the second half, in my opinion.
Yeah, just on the 2 points what I've seen there as well, just touching on with the Neves, too deep for me. So like Connor Cody needs to tell him to get away from him, and at least another 10, 15 yards of advance. But also as well, I've watched Neto and I've watched Podence down on the flanks here, and he's looking up to pass the ball in there. And we've still got Moutinho and Neves still just in front of our back line. Yeah. One of them's got to go up. One of them's got to push up, even if it's another 10, 15 yards, to even play him a square ball where he's shooting, or just to get into the box, have a gamble. Because like you're looking at it, we haven't got no real height up there apart from Otasowie. So we've got to get some kind of movement, or somebody coming from deep, just to actually get into the box. And Neves and Moutinho are just saying too deep for me. So look, at the end of the day, if it comes out, our back lads can get that. But we need people advanced up there. We need a bit more up there just to get Burnley moving, if anything. If it comes from deep.
Because they're so deep, I've got a feeling like the centre-backs have said, look, you've got to protect us here. Yeah. You've got to stop that ball coming in for Ashley Barnes, who's always going to be playing as that number 10. Obviously, Big Woody, he stretches the pitch. But Ashley Barnes he's been a thorn in our side. He's unplayable because the service coming up. So as a defender, you would naturally say, look, protect, stop that ball, try and get in front. And maybe that's just stopping the likes of Neves and Moutinho doing what they would usually do. But we've got to be brave enough. Yeah. The defender's got to say, I'm going to deal with this. I'm going to just make sure he's not going to and allow the likes of Moutinho and Neves to do what they would usually do for us.
But that's okay with them. When Burnley got the ball, I understand that and dropping back. But when we've got the ball, we've got to be pushing on to them. We've got to go more advanced to hurt them. Yeah. I understand when they've got the ball that we try and protect our back line, but we've got to try and get further on at the field for me. So like Moutinho or Neves, or just take it in turns just to help out a little bit.
Okay, boys, Burnley are heading back out for the second half. Wolves will join them very shortly. Really interesting discussion during that half-time period. We wait to see with interest what Wolves are going to do in this second half. More from Chris Wellamo and Michael Kitely to come. Post-game, more from Tomo in just a second. Hopefully, a lot more from Wolves to come in this second half. Don't go anywhere. It's coming next.
Matchday Live on Wolves TV. Listen for free online at wolves.co.uk or on the move anywhere in the world via the Wolves app.
The Old Gold Club has a new series, My Golden Game. Speaking to former and current players, coaches, managers and fans of the matches that meant the most to them.
It's a club who I have in my heart, and I always keep following it. I've been back to Molyneux on a few occasions, and I never got a good reception, and that hurt me a little bit. Not that I thought I deserved better, but maybe because of those two games against West Brom, where I scored 4 goals in 2 appearances.
Check out the series so far, featuring the likes of Jodian Lescott, Kevin Doyle, Neil Emblem and Dennis Irwin.
I was absolutely delighted when they came in from England, and even more so when, after having a tough first 4 or 5 months, that we were on a bit of a roll and ended up playing in this fantastic game.
All Gold Club, My Golden Game, available now.
So here we are, ready for the second half here at Turf Moor. Burnley 1, Wolves 0. Just an interesting moment there as Nuno went and had a word with Lee Mason, walked right up to him in the centre circle before play got back underway. Just to see what that was all about. No changes from either side at the break. Wolves now playing from left to right as we look at it, attacking the end where the away supporters would normally be. With Patricio in goal, Kilman, Cody, who's on the ball now in his own penalty area, Saiz, Semedo and Aït-Nouri, the wing backs, Neves, Moutinho and Otasowie in midfield, Pedence and Neto up top. Effectively, Otasowie at times has been playing as a striker. When you do the Burnley team in a second as they try and work it down their right-hand side. Ball goes out of play. They've got Pope in goal, Lowton, Tarkowski, me and Taylor, Brady, Brownhill, Westwood and McNeil, Wood and the goal scorer, Ashley Barnes up top. And Wolves trying to get a hold of the ball here. Saiz clearing forwards. Neto couldn't win it on the edge of the centre circle. Ben Mee to Taylor on the left-hand side. Over halfway. Closed down by Moutinho to McNeil. Backwards to Ben Mee. Now Dwight McNeil again. Infield to Westwood. Trying to lift it early. Brady had made a run in field. It's dropped down towards Barnes, who helps it out to the right-hand side to Lowton. Sends him wider than he wanted to be. Right out by the right-hand corner flag for Burnley. Low cross in, and Saiz and Patricio got in each other's way. And they've ended up conceding a corner when they didn't need to there.
No, so like a misunderstanding, wasn't it, clearly? Because there's no Burnley player next to them. So like, and I think that he's already committed into putting the clearance in, I think, Saiz. And Patricio's just caught for the ball. So, again, another corner to Burnley, who are a threat on set plays. We know that.
So they're not punished for that error in communication as the corner's whipped in left-footed from the right-hand side, and it went all the way through the 6-yard box. There were plenty of players trying to get ahead on it.
I think it was Otasowie who actually got the touch.
Taylor's cross headed away by Neves, Moutinho. He looked up, there wasn't really anyone downfield, had to hold on to the ball. Aït-Nouri's popped up in the right wing-back position. Back to Cody. Now for Saiz. To Neves. Semedo was out on the left wing back. He'll now try and switch across. As the ball went forwards, but straight to Ben Mee. An easy collect for the Burnley defender.
Well, there's that quality what we're talking about up to the front man. It's 2 miles too high for Neto.
Lowton's gone racing on the overlap. Brady will cross from deep himself. Cody nodding it down. Moutinho just helps it forwards. Neto trying to chest it down to Otasowie, but it was easily intercepted by Brownhill. McNeil has just kept it in on the left-hand touchline. Going towards dangerous position to cross. And again, a miscommunication from Patricio and Cody this time. Cody heading the ball away.
Well, I think probably a late call on him there. Because I say, I think he's already gone to committing to heading the ball, Connor Cody.
Kilman, having got an awful pass back by Neto on his weaker right foot, forced to just kick it out of play for a Burnley throw. The Wolves have not started the second half brightly at all in this opening 3 minutes of it.
It's been a bit sloppy, hasn't it? So, like, just the control, the passing, been sloppy from them.
McNeil with a bit of a sloppy bit of control gives Wolves a throw and a chance to try and clear their lines. Oh, mistake by Neves. Brownhill to the edge of the penalty area, curling it, hits the top of the crossbar and goes behind. And Ruben Neves apologises to his teammates. He just got it all wrong in an awful position for Wolves defensively.
Big Mac let off that is. He's hit the bar, hasn't he? Oh, it's a great hit from him, Brownhill. Crashes off the bar, so like Chusio not anywhere near it. Big let off. Big let off. Very unlike Neves, though, isn't it?
He was trying to let it come across him and kind of help it on its way, and he missed it. And he presented it straight to Josh Brownhill. Again, maybe it's just a sign of what we've just been talking about, that Wolves have not quite turned up yet for the second half, not got out of the dressing room.
No, so we miss control in it and everything at the minute. And you look at the technical players that we've got out there, and you're very surprising that control's coming off them, the misplacing passes, starting to play long, high balls, which are not going to benefit us at all.
It's just that there's not a commitment, is there? Like we saw from Neto trying to chest it down to Otasawi. It's kind of just somebody needs to just get a grip of things. Westwood with a free kick. Wolves trying to defend the edge of the penalty area. They'll drop deeper now as it goes wide to the far post. Here's Mees headed back into the danger zone, looping round and smashed into the back of the net from close range from Chris Wood. Wolves couldn't deal with it defensively again. The set piece was there. The cross looped to the far post, headed in, and Burnley wanted it more, and they powered it home. They might just check the offside from the original ball in, but Wood, 3 yards out, couldn't miss. Burnley have a second goal. Wolves' slow start to the second half has cost them.
But it has. So like they've allowed Burnley to get into it more so with the way that they've started it, but got no chance, has it? Chusio. No, they need to get themselves going.
I say they are going to check this on an offside for the initial ball in. We are getting a VAR check.
I don't think so.
Well, Chris Wood is definitely not offside.
No.
In the 6-yard box. Now I think they might just check. Now it comes off Ait Nouri's face, I think.
Yeah.
Before it drops to him. It's all okay. Wolves are not saved by the video officials. There's Otasawi. Martinho to the left-hand side to Ait Nouri. So Burnley have doubled their tally for home goals tonight. There's Kilman. Kilman just with a rather aimless pass all the way through. I wonder how long it'll be before Nuno rings the changes here.
I think it'll be not long. I think not long. They need something. Because the way that Burnley are playing, and they've got the bit between the teeth now as well.
Well, they have something to protect, and Taylor trying to cross them deep, headed away by Neves. Semedo brings it down, allowed to turn and play it wide to Neto over the halfway line. Neto cutting back in field. There's only 3 teams who haven't scored at least 3 goals in a game this season. We're watching 2 of them. The other is Sheffield United. So if Wolves are to win this game, they have to score 3 for the first time this campaign. There's Neves, wide to Semedo. Trying to run at Taylor into the penalty area. Taylor with a foot too, and it came back off Semedo and behind for a goal kick.
There needs to be more movement up front for me. So they started off in that first half promising, but it's difficult now just to actually get somebody. Otasawi is still trying to break and advance from that midfield area up front. Got to try and get Pedence into the game and Neto. So like they haven't really been into the game. I think there's going to be a change. Just looking at the screen here.
Fabio Silva being called back. Maybe Adama Traore too.
Yeah, I think they've both been called back.
Wolves trailing by 2-0. 54 minutes played. Westwood being to it in the air by Otasawi, but it'll be a Burnley throw on halfway.
You just know things aren't going right when just little ricochets just don't go off. You just saw there Semedo just trying to cross the ball, ricocheting off his shin. You're just seeing Otasawi there just going for a header, and headed from Burnley, and then he's just come back off his head. And I know you've got to try and make your own luck.
It's sometimes the manner of the goals you concede as well. Say the first one, nobody tracked Charlie Taylor and allowed him to cross to the far post, and maybe a bit of a mix-up between Saiz and Patricio blocking the view, and it goes in. And the second goal just had a message from a mate of mine talking about the fact that 3 central defenders on the pitch and none of them were marking me, Tarkovsky or Wood.
And me had a free header. Me had a free header to head it back. And you know as well as me, if he heads it into an area it's going to be a scramble. There's 3 or 4 players there, and it's just dropped for Woods who put it in the net. You can't do it. Can't do it.
McNeil to Taylor on the left-hand side for Burnley, midway inside the Wolves half. To Dwight McNeil, who continued his run, blocked off by Semedo. Back to Neves. Looking downfield, not really an option.
But that's what I'm talking about there. We've got to go back. We can't go forward, and there's got to be an option going forward. You've just done brilliant to win the ball back off Burnley from a set play, from a throw-in. And then all of a sudden you're looking back, and Burnley are just getting into their formation, making it difficult for Wolves now, just chasing it down.
Martinho just trying to hook it to the halfway line. Otasowie challenging. Lowton tried to get there, foot in by Aït-Nouri. Martinho infield to Neves. To Daniel Podence, trying to turn. Semedo racing forwards. McNeil tried to foul Podence and came off worse for wear. Podence up to the penalty area on his right foot, trying to pull it back here to Neto. Neto to Neves for Podence, right-hand side of the box. Daniel Podence again, trying to get to the byline now, twisting and turning. 3 Burnley players around him. It comes back to Neves. Couple of touches, tries to lift it forwards, deflects, and he'll go behind for a Wolves corner.
But he couldn't. That ball rolled back to Neves, though. We've only got Otasowie, the only one in the penalty area. And that's the thing, what we said about earlier on, well, at the half-time, got to get bodies in there. Got to get runners from deep just to get some bodies in there, just to put some challenge in.
McNeil is going to need some treatment. I say, hurt himself trying to foul Daniel Podence. In the meantime, Wolves have a corner. They also have 2 players stripped and ready on the far touchline.
Yeah.
Might not make the changes just yet.
It's Fabio Silva and Traore, isn't it? The 2 that are going to come on.
Dwight McNeil doesn't want any treatment, but the physios had come on, and he will have to go off. So Burnley temporarily down to 10. Wolves have 4 players pretty much beyond the far post. At least 3 now as Saiz moves into the 6-yard box behind the goalkeeper. Martinho with a corner, right footed from the right-hand side, short to Neto. Neto on his left foot will try and cross it to the far post. It was behind everybody. Otasowie is chasing it out to the left-hand touchline and keeps it in. He's all on his own for the time being. Bit of support arriving from Neves. Backwards it goes, though, to Aït-Nouri. Cross to Semedo. Now to Daniel Podence on the right-hand side. Saiz is still forwards. Cross goes deep to the far post. Otasowie was closing in, but Nick Poe plucked it out of the air.
Yeah. It's just hung up a little bit too high, wasn't it? Pope was always going to be fighting for the ball.
Here comes Lowton, driving forwards at speed down the Burnley right to Brady. Just being held up by Neves. 58 minutes played at Turf Moor. Burnley 2, Wolves 0. Pope in possession midway inside the Burnley half, waiting to just launch it forwards towards Wood. Well in the air by Kilman. Martinho finding Semedo. Infield here to João Martinho. Low across the centre circle for Ruben Neves. Balls to Neto. He's got support out wide from Aït-Nouri. Back to Ruben Neves. Now Martinho. Out to the right-hand side to Semedo. Podence in field. Trying to hold off his man. Martinho. Oh, he tried to thread it through for Semedo, who made a run in field rather than going out wide.
Yeah, Aït-Nouri's coming off. So I'll probably go back to the back 4, I think.
I think Otasowie might be the other man coming off.
Yeah.
So Traore on for Aït-Nouri.
Fabio Silva. Number 37, Adama Traore.
So that'll be, was it Pedence and Fabio Silva up front, Neto out on the left, Traore on the right. They've gone back to a 4.
So Fabio Silva is on for Owen Otasowie. So Semedo playing right back, Saiss playing left back. Unless they're just going to ask Neto to play as wing back. It looks like it may well be a back 4. We'll keep an eye on that as to how it shapes up. Saiss has played left wing back already this season, but left back would be another new position for him.
I'm sure he'll tell you, as long as he's in that starting 11, he won't mind.
His throw to Matinho. Backwards to Cody. Trying to sweep it forwards for Traore. Traore looking to run past one. It's going to need support from Semedo. He's still got it though, Traore. Up towards the corner of the box, holding off McNeil. Still going, Traore. Now trying to release his cross towards the far post. Neto arriving.
Oh.
Got a good header to it, but he couldn't keep it down. And it's behind and it goes down as Wolves' best chance of the second half so far.
Yeah, well, they've got 3 on Traore there, and he still managed to get across into there. Just couldn't get his header directly or any power on it. Neto, but he stood it up well, Traore. Yeah. Yeah, it does look like we're going to a back 4, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Traore and Neto.
Neves and Matinho protecting them, and then 4 along the front. Neto wide left, Traore wide right. Pedence just behind Fabio Silva, and Pedence with an awful ball backwards that Barnes is trying to help on towards Brady, up towards the edge of the penalty area, trying to lift it in towards Wood, and Connor Cody nodding down for Matinho. Here is Daniel Pedence going the right way this time. Loses out, but he's going to get a free kick as he was pulled back just before Charlie Taylor got across to him.
Well, Burnley are moaning about Pedence's challenge.
Wolves trying to take the free kick quickly. Burnley and Lee Mason not having any of that.
Yeah, well, I'd say Burnley was screaming for a free kick to them.
Matinho stood over the ball. This is Connor Cody, who's on the right of the central defensive 2 now, with Kilman to his left.
That's what we want to see, a little bit more fire like that from Pedence there. That's what we want to see in the team now. We're going to have to do that to get themselves back into this game.
Saiss for Neto. Backwards into his own half to Kilman. Wolves need some inspiration here. Semedo down the line for Traore. Facing his own goal though, being forced back into his own half, turns. Trying to hold off McNeil. And finding Matinho. Wide for Semedo. Traore was caught late. They'll pull it back for the foul. It's not always pretty with Adama Traore, but I mean, I'm not sure he always entirely knows what he's going to do, so no chance for the opposition. He's got such good strength that he's able to hold on to it even when he occasionally miscontrols.
Yeah, and it's also his reactions to opportunities that come to him as well. And he miscontrols it or whatever. And as you touched on there, his strength gets him out of it, but also as well, his pace gets him out of it as well, because he's that quick to make on to his mistakes.
Yeah, he's very quick thinking, isn't he? As well as quick sprinting. And here he is again with the ball at feet. 2 Burnley defenders with him for company. Going towards the byline. Can't find enough room to wrap his foot round the cross, and it goes behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, didn't really get the space there, did he? So they're not just doubling up on him. They've got 3 on him. But there's got to be availability of players somewhere else if they've got 3 players marking him or 2.
Wolves 2 down on the final game before Christmas. This year, their away form has been win-lose, win-lose. As far as that little tally was concerned, it should have been a win tonight, but They find themselves 2 goals down. As Westwood plays it up early towards Chris Wood. Into the penalty area, back onto his left foot. Patricio saves with his left leg. Lowton. Saïd's trying to get a foot in, and he's given away a free kick. And again, it's in a position where Burnley can lift it into the penalty area.
Yeah, great save for Patricio again. But it's just coming from Wolves' errors here. So again, he just got caught out. Good save. Good save from Patricio.
He's made a couple of good stops tonight, Rui Patricio.
He has. Well, that first half off Barnes as well, didn't we? With his feet again. That was his left foot that time. But it's one thing you don't want to give away, his free kicks.
They'll be launched towards the far post again where Tarkovsky was waiting. And Tarkovsky penalised for a little nudge on Adama Traore, who was the man marking him.
Yeah, they've got the bit between the teeth now. You're just watching Burnley now. They're sharp as everything. They're getting on first to everything, closing Wolves down.
Here's Semedo. Moutinho finding Neves, just to the right of the centre circle. Low to the feet of Daniel Podence. Podence trying to cut through the middle. Fabio Silva couldn't find him. Burnley clear as far as Cody. Semedo. That's the right hand side to Traore. 2 defenders with him again for Adama Traore to try and run towards the byline. Attempted cross came back off Traore and is a goal kick.
It's just not happening, is it? It's just not happening. 2 or 3 times now. It's either ricocheting off back onto the Wolves player and just go into a Burnley goal kick or a throw in. But you're just watching the Burnley side now. So like I said, they've got to spring in the step. They're closing everything down. They're sprinting everywhere. You've got to match them. You've got to try and get yourselves up for it. You've got to compete against the sides like Burnley.
Pope taking his time over this goal kick. Lee Mason telling him to hurry up. 67 minutes played. Substitutions haven't quite had the impact Wolves were hoping for. Adama Traore's had the ball a couple of times. We've barely seen Fabio Silva, and Burnley just continue to pour forwards here. And it's Brady on the right-hand side, on his left foot now, crossing in. Barnes blocked off by Cody. What an important block that was.
I'll tell you what, I've just saw Connor Cody's body language. He's frustrated that it's getting easy for him to pick his players out at the minute. So look, because again, it's a great block from him.
Well, Wolves have had 61% possession second half, but they've only had 1 shot.
Yeah.
Burnley have had 3, or 4 now if you count that blocked one. And they're looking much more threatening, Burnley. Cody kicks the ball out of play, so Brady can get a bit of treatment. And it's just been the case sometimes this season, isn't it? A little bit Jekyll and Hyde sometimes in Wolves.
Yeah.
Give them all the praise last week. Dwight McNeil, I think, is going to come off here. Maybe just get a drink. We'll see who the official sub is for.
He did well there, Connor Cody, didn't he? But they're finding the marks, aren't they?
Brady on his feet.
He might be one of them coming off, I think. Yeah,
he is coming off.
Yeah, it's a hamstring, I think.
Eric Peters comes on for Robbie Brady.
He's more of a left back, isn't he? But he'll probably just sit in front of Charlie Taylor. So a little bit more defensive down there. The Burnley left, our right, against Traore.
There's Connor Cody getting the ball for Rui Patricio. Looking downfield. Trying to find Traore. Heard the whole shout of hold from Cody. Traore did so, and he found Moutinho. Plays it across the centre circle for Neves. Out to the left-hand side to Neto. Saiss is in the penalty area. Neto could have delivered it earlier. Instead went backwards.
Yeah, and that's the thing, Salah, that we had bodies in there as well. Saiss, Fabio Silva and Traore were in there then. So we had 3 in the box.
There is Peters on the left-hand side. An early one up towards Barnes. Kilman coming across. Heads the ball down. He's just about managed to keep it in and done really well to do so.
Did well, Kilman, didn't he? Did really well. Barnes coming down to close him down.
Kept his composure.
Yeah, he did really well there.
Neves, early one out wide to Neto. Midway inside the Burnley half. Trying to cross it earlier this time. It was behind Fabio Silva. And Taylor, with Podence closing in, just hooks it away for a Wolves throw.
That's where Podence is going to have a gamble for me. So I expect him to make a mistake and miss it.
There is Daniel Podence. Moutinho started to make a run, then stopped. Podence played the ball, and it will just go all the way through to the keeper. And again, it rather sums up the way this second half especially has gone. They weren't so bad first half, really, Wolves. They were in the game, but second half, they came out, they were sloppy in the opening couple of minutes, and they've found themselves conceding another goal. And as Cody fouls Barnes midway inside the Wolves half, they just not really look like getting back into this.
No, they haven't. They haven't done enough in that top third for me to cause Burnley any problems. Made a few errors. Again, give away free kicks in silly areas, because you know what Burnley are going to do. Just going to bombard them again. Westwood taking the free kick.
Westwood launching it to the far side of the penalty area, and again it was headed across towards the near post this time. Patricio let it go behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, he did well there, I think. Traore just put him off, Tarkowski.
They played it short again. Cody to Semedo, and Semedo fell on top of the ball, having just been clipped by Eric Peters. Got away with it there, trying to play out from deep again. It's not been effective, that.
No, it hasn't. We've never saw him do this, have we?
Saiss forwards early. Neto down the left-hand side. Can he get the ball into the penalty area this time? Tarkowski across. It'll be a Wolves corner. Getting towards that period where Wolves need...
It's going to be another change, I think, for Wolves.
Special.
It's going to be another change.
Can't quite see who it is just yet.
I was going to say, it's a long way away, isn't it?
Yeah. I think it might be Vitinha. In the meantime, Moutinho with the corner, right-footed from the left-hand side. High towards the far post, away by Tarkowski. Neves on the volley, and it was a good one.
Great shot.
And it drew a good save by Pope to his right-hand side.
That's better from him. Sound like, was it 30 yards at least? It's come out to him. Great strike.
Corner taken short by Moutinho. Gets it back from Neto. Sets himself on his right foot. Tries to whip it. Fabio Silva bringing it down. Miscontrolled. And Ben Mee with a foot in. Wolves throw just inside the Burnley half. Vitinha. Maybe Moutinho, maybe Neves.
Well, they've got to do something. They've got to try and get themselves back into this game. There's still enough time, but the longer it goes on and the more comfortable Burnley look as well, that's the problem.
There's Neves, wide to the right-hand side to Traore. Backwards for Ruben Neves. Infield to João Moutinho. Switch to the left-back of Romain Saiss. Further wide for Neto. Infield again to Saiss, still midway inside the Burnley half. To Podence, back to Saiss. Burnley with plenty of claret and blue shirts behind the ball as it comes to Cody on halfway. Little short pass to Neves. Traore back to Neves. Now to Cody. Also a lot of the ball, but they're not getting any closer to the Burnley goal, and they won't do so now because McNeil intercepts Kilman's pass. Podence winning it back, though. Important that he did because Saiss was committed forwards. Fabio Silva, again, can't work it back to Daniel Podence. Kilman having to go backwards towards his own goal. Gets there to Barnes, does really well again, Max Kilman. Are you going to say something there, Tomo?
No, so like I was just watching it. So I was just biting my lip there at one of them. So like I could say, brilliant play from Pedence, but again, we're just not creating anything for me.
Traore is looked the most likely to create. He's crossed into the danger zone. Wolves won a penalty as Neves tries to strike it on the edge of the box and was closed down.
Well, they're arguing with the referee. It got to VAR. So he's just told him to hold on there.
We'll just pause it here.
I think he was off his shoulder. Let's have a look.
Cross coming in.
Yeah,
high up on the arm.
Yeah, I thought it was his shoulder when I initially saw it.
And the change will be made.
Neves.
Ruben Neves replaced. He's come off the pitch on this near side. Vitinha is on. Last change the Wolves can make as they try and find a way back into this over the last 15 minutes to try and rescue something.
Well, we need somebody just to get the game by the scruff of the neck a little bit, don't we?
Martinho and the ball forwards for Semedo. That's two straight. Easy pickings for Nick Pope. There's Taylor from a short throw. Cody in front of Wood. And off Peters will be a Wolves throw.
Well, he's hurt himself. Connor Cody.
He's a brave battler.
Yeah, just the back of his Achilles, I think. He's feeling.
Traore infield to Kilman. A couple of yards short of the centre circle. To the left-hand side to Saiz. Trying to play it early up towards the run of Pedence. Putting pressure on Tarkovsky, who just hoofs it onto the roof of the stand on the far side.
Yeah, he's an old messing centre off, is he? If in doubt, it's going.
There's Fabio Silva. There'll be another Wolves throw. Deeper. Foul throw by Pedro Neto.
He's still hobbling Connor Cody.
Well, Willy Bolly struggling towards the end of the last game.
He just caught the back of his heel, I think.
Also had such fortune, perhaps over the last couple of years with injuries. Incredible hard work by the fitness and medical team to get everybody out on the pitch game after game. And the physical demands of last season, the short break coming into this campaign.
Comes into it. And the soft tissue injuries, what they've picked up, hamstrings, thighs. So you got the cruciate that happened as well with Johnny.
The relentless nature of Premier League football. And Burnley are coming forwards again through Dwight McNeil down their right-hand side, back onto his left foot, whips his cross to the far post. Cody calmly nods it down for Martinho, who helps it wide to Semedo, and Wolves can get it clear.
Yeah, did well there, didn't he? Connor Cody's just put himself in a position that he could deal with it.
Vitinha has found Neto. Back in field to Vitinha, midway inside the Burnley half, just to the left of centre to Martinho, to Traore, 10 yards to his right-hand side. Wide out to Semedo. Semedo will look back in field to Adama Traore. Fabio Silva was pointing where he wanted it. Traore leaves it for Pedence, back to Martinho. Now swept out to Saiz on the left-hand side, one touch. Now delivers his cross in. Fabio Silva climbs, couldn't quite reach it. Comes through to Pedence, right-hand side of the box. Pedence trying to squeeze his way through and then smashes it over the top, but it did take a deflection. And it will be a Wolves corner.
It's a great little bit of skill from him, isn't it? So, look, and that's what you want to see from your players at the top end of the pitch. Flick just in between the two defenders on the drop volley. Left foot, just took that deflection.
Corner's taken short. Pedence didn't get it right when he tried to scoop it backwards to Traore. Semedo, Traore. Neto out wide on the right-hand side, cutting in field on his left foot. Now leaves it for Vitinha, just ahead of the centre circle, to his right-hand side to Martinho. Martinho out to Traore on the right. Back to João Martinho. Could have crossed it first time, instead pulls it back to Kilman, who joins the attack. Now to Neto. Wide to Saiz. Burnley with so many players back behind the ball, working hard to close down.
Well, they've got something to defend, haven't they? Got like the 10 players behind the ball. There's only Barnes that's a little bit more advanced.
Wolves throw. Fabio Silva getting the better of his man on the turn. Trying to hold on to possession. Going backwards, though. Comes to Matinho. Now to Semedo. Out to the right-hand side to Traore. Traore up against Taylor. And Peters there as well. He tries to cross. It hits Taylor. Comes back to Adama Traore. 10 yards from the right-hand corner flag. Plays it off a Burnley man for a Wolves throw.
Yeah, they're just nullifying with the two, aren't they? They brought Peters on to do that very job in front of Taylor and help him protect him.
Just feel, Tomo, with 10 minutes to go, it just needs more urgency about Wolves' play.
Yeah.
More intensity.
Well, I think they just need to have a little bit of take a risk in that top third. So, look, we just seem comfortable just coming back. Somebody just take the ball on. Because we're getting so far at the field, then we're coming back and then we're stopping. Just have a go.
Matinho to the right-hand side to Traore. Again, closed down by two. Back to Semedo. Couple of touches. Back out wide to Traore. His ball in field was too far ahead of Matinho. Stretched out a right leg and couldn't reach it. Barnes takes a tumble under a challenge by Vitinha. Soft, but it's a foul and a free kick. And I say the amount of times that Wolves, because they're so slow, they're just allowing Burnley to get back into shape.
And that's what's happening. So, look, you're just looking at it. The build-ups are very slow. And it's allowing just Burnley just to get the shape. It's allowing Burnley to make sure they don't get pushed out. Again, they brought Peters on in front of Taylor, who's done a good job just shielding him as well.
Ashley Barnes coming off, and it's like Jay Rodriguez coming on, and Barnes could have come off on this near side, and he's having a long, slow walk all the way to the far side touchline.
Well, I thought that they had to come off to the closest place on the pitch to come off.
Barnes' goal got the opener. Former Baggies man in Jay Rodriguez comes on. The Wolves have about 8 minutes. And they need a miracle.
Well, they need a change of what they're doing at the minute. So that's the thing. They've got to have a surge from somewhere.
Went all the way through for a Wolves goal kick. Will be launched forwards by Patricio. Header won by Peters. Cody intercepting. Trying to get something moving, but there's not a lot of movement ahead of him. Semedo is one man who's made a charge, and Cody found him. Siding challenge came in from Ben Mee, and it came off Semedo.
There you go. It's another example of it. And it's just everything that they're doing at the moment. It's just not coming off for them. But I think sometimes you make your own luck, though, don't you? I think you make your own luck in that top bit by having a go, having a gamble. It's been a little bit methodical and slow. Oh,
Mee as Charlie Taylor in trying to throw. The ball slipped out of his hands, but because it came in and went out, it's a Wolves throw that Semedo throws backwards to Cody. Nice to sweep it across to Saiz. Out wide to Neto on the left-hand side. Back infield to Vitinha, midway inside the Burnley half, heading to a central position towards the Wolves right, and his pass is too far ahead of Semedo. Traore is quick enough to react and keep it in. He's passed one challenge and now tries to lift into the danger zone. Fabio Silva arriving, but a long way off target and behind for a goal kick. 6.5 minutes remain, plus time to be added on. Takes something special to turn it around now.
Well, it's going to be something different what we've seen throughout the game, though, isn't it? It's got to be a change from something. Because at the minute, it's like they're not offering anything on Pope's goal.
Yeah, it's been a highly frustrating second half, this.
And it's very unlike us, isn't it? So, like, usually they say we have opportunities and chances. But it just hasn't been tonight, for whatever reason.
About 72% of the ball in the second half. Wolves, they've only had one shot on target for it. Here's Neto, 64% possession in the whole game. And remember, I read out that stat in the first half. Only once in 11 times have Wolves won when they've had more than 60% of the ball. There's clearly something there. Well, when teams sit in against them and allow them to have it, Wolves have struggled to break them down. We'll ask Andy Thompson, Chris Awilamo and Michael Kitely for their thoughts why post-game. Daniel Podence trying to cut infield on his right foot. 20 yards from goal, putting it infield to Semedo, edge of the area. Semedo hit it into the midriff of Brownhill. Ball comes out to Traore. Now Vitinha. Back to Connor Cody. Again, it just needs more urgency.
Well, you're looking at Burnley and the way they're closing the ball. All they're doing is basically turning the body because it's been quite slow build-up. It's not really caused them a problem at all.
Saiz blocked off out wide.
The other team had to run Burnley.
There are 5 minutes to go, and we're just knocking it along the back line, and we're 2-0 down.
For all Burnley are doing is just letting them do it. So because of the way that they've set up already in the formation that they're in, they don't have to run because all they're doing is just letting them go across, let it go across. It's going out to one side, then coming back again. You need somebody who's just going to do something within the game.
Well, Dwight McNeil is down again, needing a little bit of treatment. Wolves set up for the free kick out wide. Saiz, Cody, Kilman and Fabio Silva are the four in the penalty area. Traore and Vitinha on the edge of the box. Podence has come over to have a little bit of a drink. Two men stood over the ball. And again, you're in this situation where Tomo with Burnley getting everybody back, they've got three players outside the penalty area here, Wolves. Surely at least one of them's got to go, well, I'm just going to get in there.
Yeah. Well, we've got 6 players outside the penalty area. 6 players. We've got 2 on the ball. We've got Podence just outside of it. We've got Traore, Vitinha, and Semedo. We've got 6 players. 2 of them could go into the box, at least.
Dwight McNeil's gone off.
I don't know what's wrong with Podence. He's gone down to his knees for some reason.
Josh Benson on for Dwight McNeil. Meantime, the free kick is taken short. Podence on the edge of the area, back to Martinho, trying to lift it in. Fabio Silva, back to goal, holding on to possession. He goes down. That's a Wolves penalty. And a lifeline here, potentially. Fabio Silva holding off his man, drew the challenge. Did really well, actually. Skipped and got caught there by Benson, who'd only just come on the field.
Well, he's took the ball as well. Fabio Silva.
Fabio Silva has decided to take responsibility, having won the penalty, looking for his first Wolves goal. Is this going to be his moment?
They're doing everything just to put him off. They're taking the time. Keeper's walked across to the edge of the 18-yard box. Lowton's come in, talking to the referee.
2 minutes to play. Fabio Silva up against Nick Pope. The £35 million man. Is this the moment for Fabio Silva's first senior Wolves goal? To step up, right-footed, and he strikes it low into the bottom corner. Pope dived to his right-hand side, but he couldn't deny Fabio Silva, who is racing back to the halfway line. And Wolves have a lifeline late in this game. Burnley 2, Wolves 1.
You've got a couple of minutes left, as you said there, and there's going to be at least 4 minutes injury, I would think, with a couple of stoppages and all the changes that have happened.
Well, it's a moment that he will never forget. Wolves are fuming that Burnley have taken so long to take the kick off.
Well, they've done that on numerous occasions, haven't they? The goalkeeper, Tarkovsky. They've had the ball. Westwood got booked for kicking the ball away.
Ball goes all the way through, a long pass that Jay Rodriguez couldn't get. Wolves goal kick. We are into the final minute of the 90.
Yeah, can they get themselves back into it? Can they get anything at this game?
All eyes will be on that fourth officials board. Semedo flicking on the kick from Patricio. Fouling. Fabio Silva may be penalised. Waiting for that board to come up. How much time is going to be added on? Ben Mee stood over the ball. Free kick just short of the halfway line. Pointing where he wants Charlie Taylor to move. Lee Mason wants them to get on with it. Still Wolves complaining.
5 minutes.
5 minutes being added on. Brownhill. Burnley have it where they want it, which is down by the left-hand corner flag. And a big old tumble by Brownhill. And Martinho going in there, and a couple of shoves, and everything being calmed down as Connor Cody steps in with Chris Wood and just says, come on, everyone. But again, it eats up more time.
Well, I think he's just got a 9.7 for that dive with his arms the way he had them when he's gone down. Brownhill.
Burnley, I think, may well take this short. Martinho going in to get the ball. VAR is checking this. Checking a possible red card, maybe, for João Martinho. No, nothing there. We play on, and Burnley try and hold it up in the corner. I don't think there was anything involved in it, really.
No.
Didn't need the VAR check.
Well, the referee just got on with the game before the check even finished.
Wolves throw, but very deep in their own half. Semedo gets it back from Podence and tries to lift it forwards towards Fabio Silva, who got a flick onto it. It's going to come through to Neto. Neto trying to drive through the middle of the half to his left-hand side to Saiz, who is up in support. Back in field to Vitinha, 25 yards from goal. Wide for Semedo. It's too far ahead of Semedo. Traore will come out wide to grab it. 92 minutes played and offside against Adama Traore.
But it's in before Traore. So look, the Neto passing the ball out to Saiz. He's got to be take more care with that for me. He's got a break. He's got an opportunity.
Well, again, it's the pass from Vitinha to Semedo, isn't it, as well?
It's just like, it's just one thing after another at the minute.
And again, it just eats up more time. We've got under 3 minutes left to play. Wolves trying to find an equaliser. And Burnley have it deep in the Wolves half again through Chris Wood. Attempted foot in by Semedo. Wood taking it towards the corner flag. Again, Martinho behind him. It'll be a Wolves ball. But it's a throw right by the corner flag. Semedo will be sent back a couple of yards to take it. Semedo throwing it back to Cody. He just tries to put his foot through it. Traore trying to get control of it. Now can he try and set off and make something happen here? He's cruelly fouled by Jay Rodriguez. And that's a yellow card for the and his former Albion man.
Oh, referee, come on.
Was desperate to try and get on with things with a minute 50 remaining.
Well, Connor Cody's telling everybody to push up. Pushing everybody up. Saiz has gone onto the front line as well.
Kilman's going forwards.
Needs to come in a little bit more, Saiz. He's too wide to influence anything. Come in a little bit more.
Getting towards that now or never situation. Short to Martinho. Just over halfway to the left of the centre circle. Switch to Podence on the inside right. Oh, Podence trying to take on Brownhill. Lost control and Peters just launches it downfield. Cody will have plenty of time to collect it. Well, he doesn't have plenty of time. He had plenty of space, but time is very much against him. With a minute 10 left to play at Turf Moor. Martinho over the halfway line. Yeah. He's got options to his right, one of which is Pedro Neto. Neto on his left foot, trying to cross from deep, comfortable header away.
Yeah, I was just saying, look, I don't get it. We've got a free kick. You send the lads up from the back, and then you play it short, and you end up not getting anywhere near their penalty area.
Here's Traore. Traore 25 yards from goal, left footed cross to the far post. Saiz arriving. Didn't get a sweet enough connection. And it goes behind, past the near post.
I think that's a good opportunity on his left foot as well. Just hit it across.
Oh, look at where Fabio Silva is as well, by the way.
I think that's a good opportunity.
At the far post, if he tries to cross this rather than strike it goalwards, Fabio Silva probably has a tap in for his second goal and an equaliser.
Well, again, doesn't that sum up the evening? Somebody like Saiz is usually very reliable on things like that. Could have just put it across.
Nick Pope has just eaten up another 30 seconds by pretending he was going to take a short one and then replacing it and sending all the players forwards. 5 minutes at minimum is up. Moutinho heading on. Definitely now or never now. Only seconds can be remaining. Neto back to Vitinha. Trying to work it out to the left-hand side to remain Saiz. Maybe time for one last opportunity. Cross came in. It's going to be a Wolves corner. And they're going to have to hurry. Added time of added time.
Just put it in there. Forget about the short ones. Put it in.
And again, Wolves have got 4 players outside the penalty area. Now Traore is getting in there.
Much potential in it there. Just put it in.
Neto, left-footed from the left-hand side. Whipped in. It's headed away. Comes to the edge of the box. Vitinha will play it forwards, but the final whistle goes. Burnley have won the game. Wolves were given hope late on when Fabio Silva won a penalty, which he stepped up and converted himself for his first Wolves senior goal. But a goal in each half has done for Wolves here at Turf Moor. The long wait for a win up here in this part of Lancashire.